Hi guys, Penny Rose Journals, how you doing? Okay, I don't know how many of you saw this coming. We didn't really discuss, to be honest, whether I was ever going to cover this journal. And I hadn't even thought about it until today. When I suddenly looked at the cover and went, that is the most unattractive cover I have ever seen. So I'm covering it. I'm using these old kitchen chair covers, cushion covers that I have thoroughly washed and cut apart, and they are just about the right size for what I want. So, and they're sort of vaguely food themed, a bit of fruit going on there. So I thought that they would be perfect, and I quite like them. I like tapestry pieces, even just like upholstery material. So yes, this is what I am going to use to cover the front and back of the journal, and then we will cover the spine with something else, because this book obviously is already put together. It was never pulled apart. I'm having to cover it in its entirety, which is a bit more challenging than covering it before you put the signatures in, but I'm sure we'll manage. So let's get to it. Well, never having done an altered book before, this was how I decided to approach it. I have got my piece of fabric, I have laid it out to where I want it. I'm going to glue it onto the cover, and then I'm going to cut it to size. I just wasn't sure how else I wanted to do that, so this is the way I went for it. There may be other, more efficient methods. This is how I did it. As I decided to cover the spine with a separate piece, I am just going to use my regular scissors and just cut up the groove between the spine and the front cover, and that is where I'm going to stop the cover and then start with the spine. Well, it'll probably overlap, the spine section will overlap the front cover slightly. Now, I apologise there's not much footage of this. It was really difficult for me to do on camera. So basically I cut the corners out of the piece and you just basically covered it like you would cover a book, a library book or something. You can see once I sort of open it up, you'll be able to see what I've done. You can see there's clamps right on the corners there. That's because I'm trying to hold the corners down to make sure everything sticks thoroughly. Now, I don't want to put a cover on the inside of the front and back covers. I'm liking them just as they are, so I'm trying to get them very secure. Okay, I'm just going to trim up here along the spine a bit. It wasn't quite cut on this particular side, wasn't quite cut as close to the front cover side as I wanted it to. I don't want the front and back cover to have to bend. So there we go, there's the naked spine, if you like. Yeah, I don't want that fabric to have to bend when the book opens and closes, because it will just create bulk. So now I'm going to use a piece of this sort of faux suede. It has a backing on it, a sort of a fleece backing on it. Luckily it does peel off quite easily, so I'm able to peel it off so that I can use this piece to make a nice spine with. Now what I'm going to do is measure it up to basically the size I want it. Put a couple of chalk marks to show me where how tall it needs to be, because I want to turn over a small seam and sew around it before I glue it to the book. Because I can't tuck it on the inside, I want it to just look very, very slick on the top and the bottom, so that it just looks finished properly, even though I can't tuck it over the edges. I'm not sure if you can tell, but I am making this chalk line on the back side of the fabric. I wasn't so sure. Wasn't terribly convinced that the chalk would come out thoroughly from the suede if I did it on the right side. So I'm doing it on the back side, which will make sort of hemming it probably a tiny bit challenging, but at least I have the marks and I don't have to worry about them not coming out at the end. So I will sort of square this off so that it is nice and square to start with, and then I'm going to take it and do a small stitch. I will fold over a small hem, and I will do 2 stitches up either side and 2 stitches along the top and bottom, quite close together, so that it just looks nicely finished. Okay, here we have our finished piece, and now it's just a case of sticking it to the spine. It turned out quite well. I was quite pleased. I never quite know how it's going to go. My sewing skills are not what I would call of a professional level. I can barely sew a couple of scraps to each other, so yes, I was quite pleased with the way this turned out. So I am now going to glue it to the spine and overlap the front and back cover, and the only thing I've really got to watch is that it goes completely to the top of the spine and completely to the bottom of the spine. I do not want any bits and pieces showing. I have worked with this faux suede before, and I always find that the trickiest part is not getting glue on it. If you have some glue on your fingers and you get it on this stuff, you're never getting it off. You will have patches where there is obvious glue. So yeah, definitely something to watch if you're working with suede or faux suede or anything with sort of, I guess, velvet, anything with a nap. You will definitely notice if you get glue on it, and you will be disappointed in yourself. I managed to not get glue on it this time, so I am quite pleased with myself. This has been a favourite piece from the start. When I first made these, I was quite attached to this piece, and yeah, as soon as I started the cover, I started eyeing it off and thinking how nice it would be on the cover. So I am going to glue it to just a piece of board that was the front of a ring-bound notebook, and yeah, do a bit of inking around the edge, make it very, very simple. Stick it to the front of the book. I'm going to stick it in a U shape so that you can slide a card in underneath it if you wish. But yes, I have decided that it's definitely the place for it. So I'll get on with that, and we will get this cover completely finished all in one setting, which is pretty awesome. And there she is, completely covered along with a book plate. So yeah, one step closer to being finished. I hope you've enjoyed this, guys. I'm sorry there wasn't more footage of the actual covering, but yeah, it is what it is. I've only got a limited amount of space here. So anyway, guys, thanks for sticking with me today, and yeah, I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.